Fanny packs are back, and they're tactical as ever. Today we're going to be talking about the Maxpedition Octoversa pack. First of all, what I want to get into is this pack with this wide belt can be cinched up pretty tight, and it really doesn't interfere if you're carrying a gun on an inside the waistband or outside the waistband holster. But most of the time, I carry this as a sling pack. I don't really like sling packs because they move around, but this one does not. It's got these quick pull connections on it. Most of the time, I just throw it over my shoulder. I've got this little hook on this molly webbing. I hook it on the cage behind the seats in the work van and just let it ride there while I'm working. But if I really had to get out of a place and take off, like I said, I carry it as a sling pack. Now I can access it this way, flip it around, and I have access to my firearm, and I've got some magazines in here too. So let's put this thing on a table and dive into it, kind of see what I've got in it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so first off, one thing I really like about this pack is the snappable waistband, just like most Maxpedition products. That way you can use it in many different configurations. I just think that's a nice feature. The way they designed this thing, I believe that under this tension cord here, this little pocket, which I keep a pen in, I think was meant for a flashlight. I like to have mine here just a little more secure so I don't have to worry about it slipping out. And of course I keep a pair of gloves on me right here. Now there's a back compartment here. I'll throw, this is the part that's up against your body the most, and so, I had a map in here. I'm not sure what happened to it. But, like a bandana or something. I've got my tourniquet and a little bit of gauze and medical tape, and that's all I have in there for now. These compartments do have drain holes, and one thing that I considered, because the main compartment does not have a dummy tag in it, so you could secure your holster and just pull your firearm out. I think that would be a good option, but I was trying to figure out if I could use some paracord and maybe rig something up, sort of as a dummy tag to retain my holster as I drew my firearm out. So we'll jump into the main pocket here. Now this pocket is pretty decent size. I've got the Glock 48 with a holster inside there, and I've got 2 magazines. Now I keep the magazines in this back compartment here that butts up against the back wall. There's a mesh compartment in here. I really don't like that. It kind of gets in the way. I've tried to put a couple of things in there, but it's just kind of in the way. I really don't care for that. Now, the one thing about this is if something were to happen, and I basically use this pack as my light get home bag. It really doesn't have enough stuff in it, for what I want, but in the summertime, I'm not carrying extra clothes most of the time. If I'm only working 30 minutes to an hour from the house, I'm pretty sure I can get back home, even if I have to carry my water bottle in my hand. So it's not as convenient as a backpack as far as carrying all the things that you want, but it works pretty well for just basically what this pack is to me is an extension of my EDC. You've got your pocket knife, your wallet, things like that. Now when you load this pack down, it's loaded down, there's no room for anything else in there, but in a situation where you're going to grab this thing and go, you're going to put your firearm on you, maybe leave the magazines in there, maybe stick them in your back pocket, and then you've got all this room if you need to add things, like maybe some food or something from a gas station. Now, one thing you could do is, if you wanted to, it'd be really uncomfortable, but the loop on the top of an Nalgene bottle, you could use a carabiner and attach it to this. I've done that when they're empty. I don't want to be running or really walking with a full water bottle strapped to my waist, but you could do that. Now, if you use this pack in a sling pack configuration like I do on my shoulder, it could hang below your arm, and it might not be as bad. So, that's one thing to consider. Okay, next compartment. This is basically like your admin compartment. And what I've got in here is headlamp. Got to have a headlamp. I really like to have two lights, you know, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. You won't see those patches anywhere else. So I've got a lighter in here. I've got an Exotac fire striker. I forgot which one that is. I can't remember what it's called now. In this I have these little tinder tabs. These things are great because they are waterproof. They do have a rubber seal on them. They've got this useless little striker on the bottom that I don't think would really work for anybody. But these things are like $1. You can get them off Amazon or at Walmart, whatever. And, you know, I've got my multi-tool in here. Leatherman Wave, in my opinion, is the most useful. And this one has been modified. I've got a buddy of mine that he takes parts out of these and puts other parts in. So I took the scissors out and had some more screwdriver tips put in there. But anyway, love that thing. Never leave the house without it. Now there is a back side to this compartment, and you can put some things in there. I've got just a little pry tool that I've wrapped in leather because I thought it looked cool and it feels good in my hands. You know, like I said, this is just an extension of your everyday carry. It just gives you a few more pockets, you know, especially in the summertime when you don't want to be putting a bunch of stuff in your pockets. I can't stand that. So anyway, now this small pocket on the front, I use as, you know, I've got some Excedrin in here. I got some Tylenol. I've got some chapstick and some wet ones. Everybody needs to carry those around. I've also got some skin glue and some wound seal out of a first aid kit. You know, just to kind of go along with my gauze and things like that. If I get a nasty cut or something, I can handle that right there. And as for all this molly webbing on the outside, I really like to have a flashlight at least this size on me. I do have one of the Streamlight Micros that I carry quite a bit if I'm going out to eat or taking my kids somewhere, because I feel like any dad that has kids, you know, you need to have a flashlight. You never know when the power is going to go out and you can't find your kids. So this one's like a 300 lumen. It's got different settings on it. This is a really good pocketable size as well. I like to have at least this size on me if I think I'm going to be in a situation. I do have bigger flashlights at home, but anyway, just the pouch that come with it. Velcro's on here nicely and kind of stays out of the way. This thing really, it's convenient to have. It really is. Now, like I said, I don't have any form of shelter, and I consider getting some heavy meal trash bags and sticking them in this thing here where that flashlight is supposed to go. You know, so this is not like an end-all survival type thing, but you know, I'm a big proponent of having something to help me get home. You know, the way I look at it as a husband and a father, you need to be able to provide, protect, and prepare, and you can't do those things if you're not, you know, if you're 400 miles from your family. I used to be a delivery driver and I used to carry a bigger pack, but since we've jumped back to working mostly within an hour of the house, I've just been carrying this kind of stuff with me. But now that the weather is getting colder, except for today, it's December and it's like 70 degrees. But other than that, you know, I like to carry like an extra fleece with me or something just in case, you know, something that kind of helps me along. But I will be adding some of those trash bags in here. In my other pack that I'll be doing a review on, the Pygmy Falcon is my favorite. Pygmy Falcon 2, I believe it is. It's my absolute favorite backpack. And you could wear this in conjunction with that. It might be a little uncomfortable. It might have a lot going on, but I just don't like to have too much stuff on me all the time. I feel like the more stuff you have, the less comfortable you're going to be. And, you know, you really don't want to wear yourself down. I mean, carrying water alone is, you know, it can be kind of aggravating depending on what you have. So, but yeah, you know, I'm probably going to throw a Silock key in here just in case I'm around a building and I need to refill my water before I take off or just whatever, you know. The van may break down and we may be sitting for a while and it might be hot, you know, and we run out of water waiting on a tow truck, or who knows, maybe an EMP or a solar flare. They're talking about those in the news now. You know, so when they talk about things, it's almost like they're prepping you for it. You know, don't let a good crisis go to waste, they say. So anyway, now this firearm is basically a Glock 19. Everybody knows what the Glock 48 is. I'm probably going to do a separate review on it because I feel like it doesn't get the notoriety that it should. It's basically a 43, but made to be about the size of a 19. And I had to put this grip on there because I've got pretty long fingers and it's kind of hard to hold. Actually, the 43 is a little bit easier to hold for me for some reason. But I do like this gun. I'm 6'1" and I'm 175 pounds. And I can keep that one hidden under a shirt pretty well. 19 sticks out a little bit more. It's not a huge difference. I wouldn't go out and trade a Glock 19 for this one if I already had one, but you know, this is what I got. So anyway, I'll do a review on that one later. But anyway, so yeah, I always keep a pair of gloves on you. I work in the electrical field, so we tear out insulation, sheetrock, wood with nails in it, things like that. And you might be on your way home and have to move some debris and hide, or you know, anything. So these are a little bit thicker than what I normally use, but they would be good for moving some brush or thorns or whatever. Now this does have some dummy tags on the outside here. I don't really know what I would use those for. There's molly webbing on the back. You could strap this thing to another pack if you wanted to. I just feel like that'd be really bulky and kind of annoying. But anyway, kind of see what we got here. And these things are about 80 something dollars, I think, on the Maxpedition website. But quite often Maxpedition does these sales where it's buy one get one, and I usually wait for that because I can get two for the price of one. And every time I buy myself something like this, my wife wants the same thing, so I usually just get two different colors and let her pick. You know how that goes. But anyway, so yeah, this is pretty much it. And like I said, this little mesh thing in here, it's like it flops around in the middle. It's really annoying. I'm probably going to remove it. But other than that, this thing I've been carrying for not quite a year, 8-9 months or more maybe, and it's worked out really well as far as throwing in and out of a work van when you've already got your stuff, and in my case my brother's stuff in there, lunch boxes and everything's in the way, tools and everything. I can hang that on the back of the cage, the safety cage in the back, or the behind the seats in the van, and I can access it if I need to. I actually put it behind his seat, that way I can reach over and pull the zipper and get my firearm out if we're in the van. Because I can't really walk around with a gun on me and a tool belt at the same time. So, you know, something to consider. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got on this one. I really do like it. I really do recommend it. If you're wanting to travel light, and like I said, I don't like sling packs. Most people don't. They just move around too much. You can get some with like a belly strap on it, and waist strap. I find them to be uncomfortable, and all of your weight's on one shoulder. Well, this is not a lot of weight on one shoulder, and you can wear it however you want. I mean, it just works out pretty good for me. I just wish there was a way I could store water in it, but there's just not. So that's what we have on this one. Okay guys, that's all we have for this one. I appreciate you watching, and I'll have some more gear reviews, Maxpedition products. I've got a ton of them, gun reviews, and you know, some campcraft stuff, the things we all like. So anyway, stay prepared, and we'll see you next time. Pine Box Perspective.